Welcome back, welcome back. I'm going to be doing the temperature sensor and the onboard LED at the same time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new file, which I've done here. I'm going to copy in all my temperature sensor stuff. So Control A to highlight everything, Control C to copy, go back to my other file, Control V to paste everything. Don't need this right now. So just let's make sure this works. Press F5 to run that. Temperature still running. See if it increases. Yeah, it goes up to 22, 23, and eventually gets to 24. Perfect. I don't need to keep printing this out. So I'm going to take this out and leave it as a comment. I'm going to go back and grab my LED flash. Let's stop the program first. Go back and grab my LED flash. And the only thing I really need from here is maybe these 3 lines at the top. I'm going to copy those. Go back to my original one here, and I'm going to put those roughly here. So I've imported from machine, I've imported pin, and I've imported UTime. I can get rid of this one because I already have it at the top. Now what I'm going to try and do here is to mix my LED with my temperature sensor and say, if the temperature sensor gets to, let's say 24, that seems like a decent temperature, turn the LED on. If it falls below 24, turn the LED off. So we've already looked at how to create the LED and make it attached to pin 25, which is the default for the Raspberry Pi Pico. You've already seen how to do the temperature sensor readings in the previous video. If you haven't, please go back and watch that one. And now down here, I'm going to do a conditional statement at decision. So I'm going to say if temperature, let's put that inside the while loop actually, because it needs to be running constantly. If temperature, let me copy that because I'm lazy, is greater than, let's say 24.0, I'm going to print temperature is greater than 24, and I'm going to turn the LED on as well. So I'm going to do LED.high, leave that on, maybe sleep for like 0.5 seconds. So UTime.sleep 0.5 seconds. And that's it for my if statement, completely finished. Now I need to go to else. If anything else happens, ELSE, I'm going to print temperature is less than 24. Put that there, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing, but I'm going to put LED as low instead, not high, because I want the LED to turn off. This should work perfectly fine. So let's press F5 to run this and see what happens. It's 22 at the moment. So let's put my hand over it. Oh, that's not going to work actually. I actually don't remember where this temperature sensor is. So let me just put my finger there. 23, 24, there we go. LED turns on. So let me just hold this here. I think it's somewhere here. So just watch for the LED to come on. I genuinely don't remember where this is. There we go. LED comes on eventually. Just keep my hand over it. LED stays on as well. So I'm going to move my hand away from it now. And it should start cooling down. The LED should go off eventually. There we go. And that's it. We're finished. So all I've done here, I've done a conditional statement. So I've said, if the temperature, so we're reading temperature, we're printing temperature, right? If the temperature is greater than 24, do this thing here, these sets of things. Otherwise, do this. Now, ideally, you want to have an elif in here as well. So the way I would actually do this is I would do an elif here. Elif temperature, let's just copy this. Elif temperature is less than 24. Do this stuff in here, and I would still do an else. The else would just print something like, there's been an error, I don't know what's going on, right? That just catches everything else, even though it must be greater than 24 or less than 24. We could say greater than or equal to 24 actually, but let's just leave it as it is for now. And put here, there must have been an error, because this will never be exactly 24 in my opinion, because as you can see, we have 4 decimal places. So it's more than likely that it's never going to be 24. So let me run this now. Let me put my full stop in. Press F5 to run this. And it's 23 now. So let's cover that section. I think the temperature sensor is somewhere over there. There we go. It's at 24, gone up to 25. I'm going to remove my hand. So again, pay attention to the LED on this side. Remove my hand. It's going to start cooling down eventually. 24, 24.2, 24.7, 24.2. And should, there we go, fall below 24. And that's it. I like to use if, elif, and else, because what the else does, it catches any weird thing that could happen, and we put a message on screen saying that, so we have a generally good idea of what's happening in the system. If we didn't have access to the code, for example, if we only had the system running, then okay, we could say there's something wrong with the if, the elif, or the else, and I could come back in and check. So that's how it's done. Nice and simple. The only thing I've done here is combine the two pieces of code I've used before and added a conditional, so a decision. If something, then do something else. I think the next thing I'm going to do is actually try to control external LEDs with resistors. Let's see how that works.